can have free thoughts and you can think for yourself, which is something we are lacking as people. No wonder we are so divided. There's all of this, black people are suppressed and stuff like that.
And we're live.
There's a shoot.
Yeah, man. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Truth Waves podcast.
Yeah.
And today is our first episode ever. We have something special. I'm your host, and this is my co-host.
Every time.
My name is Musta, but some people call me the Master, which is fine, which is fine as well. But yeah, this is my co-host over here,
Yes,
013Vanity, and yeah, we'll get into it and introduce ourselves. But firstly, we'll start with my co-host over here, my guy.
No, man. Shout out for you coming. Actually, shout out to your energy. We've been planning it, but now it's the time to actually make it happen. Make it align. And yeah, it's the Truth Waves podcast, where we're gonna be talking about some interesting topics for the people, and also letting y'all actually know more about ourselves, what we do, and feel free to comment how you feel, about all of these conversations that are gonna be happening, because they are gonna be interesting. That's one thing I can promise.
Definitely. It's mind changing. It's life changing. It's truth.
Yeah, the people are ready for it, man.
Yeah.
University of Truth. It's time.
Yeah.
Bit by bit. But yeah, I'm Vanity. For those who don't know already. So yeah, I'm what they call a serial entrepreneur, my guy. Anything that involves money, I'm in it. But also, I don't just do it for the love of money. I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
It's the thing of, even if I wasn't getting paid for the stuff that I do, I'd still do it.
It's the passion. It's the drive.
I think we live in a society where it's like, you kind of need that bag a little bit to get by. Buy food, take care of family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But aside that, all of the things that I'm doing for free, from like music to photography, or even writing a book.
Yeah.
All of them I do for free.
In depth, as you've said, you're 013Vanity, entrepreneur, photographer, musician. Besides all that, there's a beginning to everything, as we all know.
True.
Who is the guy behind 013Vanity?
Well, that's an interesting question, but it's like it's hard to describe oneself, because as a person you keep learning more each and every day.
Yeah.
And also with that knowledge that you gain, there's also a bit of change that happens.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm a free-spirited person, in a sense where I'm a cup that's half empty and half full at the same time.
I get you.
I'm always willing to learn more, whether it's life or music or how I should shoot better. But I'll say my creative journey started maybe in school. Yeah. Let's get it up. I went busy. I was the guy doing photography. I was the guy busy rapping a school in Shamara Peru lab.
Yeah.
I never lost, just say.
Never lost. Know that.
Them green tailors didn't know I never lost. But yeah, that's where the creative process began, and I fell in love with it, and from then it's been interesting, because I've gotten to, help my family through it. I've gotten to a point where I've known life in depth, because of this creativity that I do. Man, I've gotten tattoos because of this thing. Bro.
Yeah. And I'm sure those tattoos have a meaning behind. There's a story
all
behind
of them.
each and every one of them. As we all know, you don't just get tattoos for the sake of it, but for the meaningful moments behind it.
And it wasn't easy though. Yeah, it's also shama tattoo, but it's not demon, man.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But the more also I explained to them what they mean, it became easier for them to understand it and be like, okay, now we understand you now.
Yeah.
We see where you're coming from.
I get you. So, how did you come about with the name 013Vanity?
Okay, so vanity means two things, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the viewer's knowledge about it.
Yeah.
Biblically, some say it means empty.
Yeah.
You know, and then some might also say that it means excessive admiration of one's abilities in a way.
Yeah.
So for me, I use it as both, you know, empty being that, like I said, I'm a cup that's half empty and half full at the same time.
Yeah.
So meaning I'm always willing to learn.
Okay.
And also I do admire all of the abilities that I'm able to do. But how I got the name was, I named myself Notorious Ink.
Okay.
I see that time I thought I was spitting bars.
Alright.
Bars. It was like some conscious rap type of a thing,
Sure.
you know. And then I met one of my friends, Oshala Etuva,
Alright.
and he was like, you know what, man, you might need to name change,
Yeah.
you know, because one thing about music and also life in a sense, once you decide, okay, let me put it like this: you can actually decide the character that you'd like to be in this life.
Yeah.
So by choosing Vanity, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna create a new character that can also describe who I am, you know. And then the 013 came about with being chose and so on.
Cool.
And I realized with a lot of people mabahamba baychose back then they lose their essence or their roots.
Yeah.
So I put the 013 to always be a reminder with you must never forget where you come from.
Yeah.
So that even if a city my music is blown up, people will ask like America, it's okay, but then like 013, what does it mean?
Cool.
You know? So that's where the name came about.
I see. I hear you mention that you remembering your roots with 013. Where are you actually? Where does Vanity come from? Where is it birthed?
So Vanity is birthed a Witbank, basically. That's 013.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
I mostly grew up is Nambe,
Sure.
from Station 5, and then probably like grade R1. That's when I came this side of Suspect.
Yeah.
And I've been here ever since until I went to Joburg and also came back. So yeah, my roots are deep rooted in Witbank.
Yeah.
This is where we are.
And I hear you say that you've been through a lot and that those moments are impactful in your life. What would you say is the most impactful, life-changing thing that has ever happened in your life, where you've gained probably like a new perspective on things?
I think that would be going to Joburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be definitely going to Joburg. Because sometimes, you know, they say, a prophet will not be loved in their own, let's say, place or city. You know. So me going that side in Joburg, I realized, there are people who also left their hometowns to come to this place, trying to fulfill their destiny in a sense. You know?
Yeah.
So being there, I mean, I almost got signed to a record label.
Yeah.
I got to meet a lot of celebrities. I even shot in MT's music video one time featuring this other friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And all of those experiences made me realize there's more that you can do once you get out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Because that's one thing that kills us as people. We stay in that comfort zone too long.
Yeah.
Because maybe here I'm cool, or I know this and such people. But once you step out of it, you get to test your own abilities.
Yeah.
And self-control as well.
True.
Because there are sometimes, when people go that side, they start smoking drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I chose Mkwenyi. But for me, it was like, I knew why I'm here.
Yeah.
And I fulfilled my duties at that time. Mm-hmm. And there's still a lot to be done.
Yeah, that's true. What would you say that you still need to do in life in general, and also in terms of your career? Where would you like to see yourself in the next probably 5-10 years?
I'll say that one thing that I need to do is blow up. Actually, let's put it directly. Let me blow up to listen to my music. Yeah. It's nice. So I created a genre called Amadrill. I can
testify to that. This music is real great. It's really great.
I created a genre called Amadrill, which is mixing amapiano, drill music, hip hop, and kwaito. Yeah. So I want to make that genre internationally known. You know. But first, they say home is where the heart is. So I need to start making it more known in SA first. Yeah. And then we can take it globally. You know? Yeah. That's one of the things. Another thing is I want to build a media house. Okay. Because I have a business called Vanity or Pride. Yeah. So that Vanity or Pride is my record label. Mm-hmm. It also is my photography and video side, including graphics, right?
Okay.
So I'd like for that to be a media house that's also built in Witbank, aside from having branches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It needs to be also found in Witbank, because that's one thing we're lacking in the city of ours, is a space where creatives can just create.
Yeah, I get you. Have you dabbled in other industries besides the industries that you're currently in?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a book
Okay.
called African Child,
Alright.
Know Thyself, The Awakening.
Yeah.
So by me writing also that book, it was, because I also shoot a vlog,
Okay.
about like my day-to-day life, for example.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't know how interesting your life is until you take a video of it and just take it out to people.
Yeah.
Because your life to you might be basic,
Yeah.
but then to someone else it might be interesting, blind,
And inspiring. Trust
feel
me.
me?
I know. I've also bought a copy of your book, and truth be told, it's really inspiring.
Shout out to you, man. He was the first one inspired, actually.
It's really inspiring to read your story and how far you've come and the challenges that you faced.
Yeah,
Besides reading the book, but from the conversations we've had,
yeah.
it's really an eye-opening that one's life in a book can give you a different perspective.
Yeah, no, this other guy was like also, hey man, I don't know a lot of people who wrote a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that also got me thinking I need to market it more. But I will, because the reason why I'm moving this way with the book is like, I'm not necessarily want it to be like more profitable, I just want to take it out. I just want it to be, for the people.
Yeah. What would you say is your biggest inspiration for writing the book?
My biggest inspiration for writing the book would be, I say consciousness in a sense.
Okay.
Because I don't want to specify and say like black consciousness or white consciousness or consciousness in a sense where it's like, I want to get people to think, like thought-provoking, like how you'd read in WhatsApp, like about Credo Motors books.
Sure.
I want people to think, and like once you take time to like read a book, you get to realize you can have free thoughts and you can think for yourself, which is something we are lacking as people.
Yes.
No wonder we are so divided. There's all of this, black people are suppressed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Aside from us getting back to our roots, because like we had before conversation with, once we get back to our roots, but my culture is better than yours. But if we all have self-awareness, or understand that we have a linked consciousness, or we share consciousness, that's gonna make us be able to understand the next person.
True.
And be like, you know what, even if I'm this culture and you're that culture, but there's something that binds us together. You can call it God, you can call it the source, however you feel.
I think it really goes well with the ideology behind our podcast, is that it's truth that binds us together, truth that weaves us together. And from there we grow as a nation. As much as an individual you might have different perspectives, but at the end of the day the truth remains the truth, regardless of how you see it. And going back to what you mentioned someone who's a giant in the spiritual space. Baba Credo Motoa, he left a living legacy, which sadly enough was not recognized by the majority. Rest in peace to him. I mean, may his soul find that rest. Even though he passed when it was crucial for the information that he had for us to gain, but then there was no access to that because of people that were around him.
That's very true.
And would you say, because of him, would you say your journey, in a way, your life's journey, is also inspired by him or influenced by him in a sense?
Yes, sir, most definitely. I mean, there's things that he talked about, for example, how the system that we're in controls how we think, and also there are powers that be, which are larger than life itself, which can get people thinking, which is the stuff like aliens, is the earth round, is it flat, is there heaven or earth, all those things for me, it's just like to get us to think and not go on what we've been taught. Because a lot of times we do things because it's like But I've been taught this and that from at home or at school or at church.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like you need to have your own individual thoughts and be like, okay, how do I feel about this situation?
Yes.
Or how do I feel about such and such? Because with things like COVID, it taught us to look deeper within ourselves,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Because, we're locked inside the house. Now you have to think, what can I do,
Yeah.
to better myself in that space?
Yeah.
Because sometimes being out there with the noise and all of that, you get distracted. You know? So Bob Musta played a huge role. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Looking up more on his interviews, checking out some of his books, I get to realize that there's more to life itself than we just go get money, you get married,
Yeah.
you build some businesses and you die. But you also need to leave a legacy. And within that legacy, you also need to develop self-awareness so that you can teach it to your kids.
Yeah.
For them to be independent thinkers,
True.
I would sort of mind dependent on the system to say, the government is going to tell us what to do, it's going to tell us what to wear, how to dress and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That needs to change.
Looking at your book, I've read it and it's real good, and I can tell that there's a lot of influence, not just from Bob Musta, but a lot of other big giants in the field of spirituality. But besides spirituality, mentalism as well. A lot of psychology went into your book, and that's one thing that I've picked up, is that your thought process is very deep and meaningful in a sense of spirituality and consciousness. And looking at the title of your book, The Awakening, it really says a lot. It speaks volumes on how your perspective is on life.
Yeah.
But would you say that you have a certain awakening that you've had in life, and when was that for you? When was the actual realization or awakening phase?
I would say I do have an awakening, and it's a thing of, it's hard to pinpoint a certain point in my life.
Yeah.
Because also, okay, for example, let's see if I can show this tattoo. I don't know if you can see it, but if you see it, so this is what some would call the Eye of Horus, So the reason why I got this is to represent that in whatever I do, I am protected, and that God's eye is forever on me.
Yeah.
So with the timing of it, I don't know, man, because even at school, I'm a grade probably like 8, 9.
Yeah.
I've always had conversation with friends who would see this life that we're living in, there's more to it, Even though at the time we didn't realize what we're actually talking about in depth, Now as you get older, you start to realize, okay, there's actually levels to this thing. Isn't the best kuluma ngazo back then? We understood it, but we didn't have a full clarity on it, Now it's like I'm at a point where, like I said, I'm a cup half empty, half full.
Yeah.
I understand that there's things that I know, but also in the things that I know, I understand I can still know it more in depth.
True.
Yeah. But what I encourage the viewers to do is just learn more about yourself. Just like take time away from friends, family, because there's things that your family might say to discourage you about a certain thing, often weekends, and there's things that your friends might also say. Sometimes it's even your own thoughts that can tell you, hey man, you might not have the strength to do this or the resources to do this, but as long as you believe in something also greater than yourself, that unites all of us, that's gonna happen. But sometimes it isn't like our ancestors might not come to you directly in this life. Sometimes they might come to you as birds or animals, as a this child. But sometimes they can also come through people.
True.
Someone might help you with a business idea that you have. Like how we're doing this podcast now.
Exactly. It came about during a conversation that we didn't even have a prior conversation of a podcast, but it came up and then it happened.
True.
We didn't even waste time on it. But as you were saying, ancestors, I hear you mentioned ancestors, spirituality and awakening, also subconscious. All those thoughts and talks are really thought-provoking.
True.
And to pick your brain something, what do you think has changed from your awakening? Has your life perspective changed, or is it still changing?
It's still changing.
Yeah.
I'll say that because at first, it was a thing of I was looking at this whole spiritual thing from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Say that. But then once I also got factors involved, like your ancestors, and understanding that whole realm.
Yeah.
We see, for example, we don't worship our ancestors, bro.
Yeah, yeah. That's a misconception.
They think we talk about ancestors now, we're gonna worship. No.
Yeah.
It's not worshiping, it's not church here.
Yeah.
But it's more about acknowledgement and understanding. Okay, umkhulu wami, umkhulu wakhe, ubabakhe, and so on. They might have had these capabilities or attributes, and I might also possess the same. Like, for example, how I look. My dreads also want to come back month end November. So whenever I have my dreads, my family members would be like, because of the dreads.
Yeah.
So with the ancestors thing, it's like once I started getting into that realm, it made me realize that a lot of the things that I know is stuff that have been programmed, from school, from home, and from church as well.
Yeah.
And that's like what I realized, what works for me might not work for you.
True.
Like I might be that guy who acknowledges his ancestors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you feel like, you know what, I find peace when I go to church. And worship the white Jesus.
Yeah.
But
that's a talk for another day.
Those are them shop.
Yeah. And that triggers a lot of people.
Yeah.
We're here to, calm people down about that whole conception, They'll learn a lot from this podcast and understanding what everything means. But besides that, where's your standpoint in terms of religion and Christianity?
Honestly, it's all control.
Yeah.
Like religion for me was put to control majority, which is the black people. Imagine, bro, we live in a world where the minority, which is the white people, own more resources, own more businesses, own more land compared to the majority of people in this world which are black.
Yeah.
That for me is a bit shaky. We need to start looking at that and being like, but there's something wrong here.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, if we look at the history and we even watch the movies that they take out, bro,
Exactly.
we'd see people like Abu Shaga.
Yeah.
Abu Shaga's, it came to a point where the white people came to him.
Yeah.
And they infiltrated our cultures. Got to a point where, for example, if you want to go to a hospital, bring that artifact, or bring and then we're gonna heal you.
Yeah.
Leave those ancestral beliefs behind. But it got to a point also if your kids, talking to the whites, if your kids have marriages within my people as well, then that means your kids will have ownership of this land. So that also now gets confusing, because if we say things like we want to take out white people from this country, there are white people who are mixed between black and white.
Exactly.
So do we really have to now chase everyone away? But they want to say,
exactly, because now it's going to seem as if you're also against some of the black people that are part of the lineage of the white people.
See,
and
now
that's another discussion altogether.
So for me, it's like it's best for all of us to learn ourselves and learn our roots and learn how these things that we are so held on to came about. Like we're talking about religion and Christianity. I could really move and just ask yourself, okay, how did Christianity come into this country? Because every culture has their own gods or idols, except for us black people.
Why are we so staunch on Christianity and a God that we don't even understand?
Because the God in the sky, let's talk about the God in the sky.
Where are our roots in spirituality? And just because a thing is black doesn't mean it's bad.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the misconception about the black cat and black magic, especially black magic, because there's a whole lot of bad things that were done, yes, but we shouldn't look at it as it's evil in terms of black magic, because black magic can also be used for good intentions.
It's in fact, when people close their eyes, bro, all they see is blackness. So that should show you something that we are from the blackness. You shouldn't be afraid of something just because it's black.
Exactly.
And also on that note, people must realize that in the I forgot the exact year, but there was a point in time where the government in America, for example, they took out a newspaper article saying that black cats are bad. So now you can understand if they did that, and then now they come through with the Christian thing, and they also preach the same narratives that black cats are bad, your ancestors are demons, stuff like that. They're just doing it to control, bro, and also make us forget. In fact, there's white people who go to their ancestors' graves.
True.
Go there to clean or do whatever they need to do there.
The very same people that tell you with your own black ancestors are demons.
But then try to tell a black person, just go clean, bro. You don't gotta go there. Careful, you're not
slaughtering it. Just clean.
Just go clean, bro. Because I know people, even personally in my own life, they don't want to go to Matuni. Because they feel with it now, their Christian beliefs doesn't allow them to go.
Speaking of Christian beliefs, haven't you had a conflict in terms of changing your perspective on religion and spirituality, in terms of acknowledging the presence of ancestors in your life? Didn't you find that a bit uncomfortable at first to say, you know what, I'm stepping away from religion and Christianity and opening my perspective?
Honestly, I didn't, in the sense of I understood that the ancestor way it's what I'm supposed to do. You know, it wasn't something I saw someone do. You know, it was something that felt right in my spirit. At home, obviously, there's going to be challenges because, for example, my mom is like a full Christian woman. You know, so now when I bring up stuff about ancestors, even for me, like to go to initiation school, stuff like that, she was skeptical about it.
True.
You know, but with me, it's like I understand that. Listen, things fundile from Sunday school and all of that. All of those things I still apply them. But you won't see me at church. That's what I'm saying. And it's messed up because just because you might not go to church, God is not with you.
True. You know? That's the misconception.
And it's like, bro, God is with you. When they say your body is a temple, who do you think lives inside it, bro?
Exactly. Whoever is in the temple is who you let in the temple.
You feel?
Just saying. So it's all about intention and you know what you want and what you want to manifest. And speaking of God your body being the temple, a lot of people have a misconception that God is a physical thing that you'll find in a building, which is not true. Wherever you are, even though you're miles away from church, you're still with God in that present moment. True. And people don't really dive deep in the meaningfulness of words and what they mean, especially in terms of Christianity and scripture. I think they misinterpreted a lot, and it caused a lot of confusion in a lot of people's lives. And the fact that they don't have a sense of critical thinking, I think that also created a lot of division between spirituality and Christianity.
The church is just like, but it's like people, like I said, must just go back and realize how did this Christianity come about to our country? You know, like I said, what works for us might not work for you.
True.
You know, that is also a point. But at the same time, I believing in a God in the sky, because it's messed up. They tell us, in Christianity anyway, you know. Enjoy the suffering that's happening now. You're gonna find peace in heaven, you know, or when Jesus comes. But like, what if he never comes, bro?
And what evidence do they have to give that there is a heaven? What evidence do they have? You know, it's all the chat. They're teaching you a lot of things about Christianity, but nothing is factual. There's no actual evidence of their claims.
People must realize, when they say Christ is going to come back, it's a thing of, or Christ rising, it's a thing of Christ consciousness and faith. Raising your own energy, your own vibration, your own frequency to a point where it's at a high. Like, you don't get easily influenced because you choose what influences you. When someone swears at you and you decide if you want to let that affect you or not.
Exactly.
You know, it's your life. So people need to, like I said, just go back, do some research on this Christianity thing.
True. I think a lot of mental damage was done by the church,
Definitely.
because people lack the critical thinking aspect, and as well, people are lazy to even investigate, really research what they learn from church, and I think that's also what really caused a lot of things to happen in the country, where as black people we lose a sense of worth and a sense of power and authority in not just the world around us but within ourselves as well. We've lost our ways, we've lost who we actually are, and seeing and realizing the God within yourself. I think that's what your book also told me. Is you have to open your eyes within yourself to recognize yourself as God and see the God in you.
Okay, now that's powerful. That's another thing I'd add on that is like trust God's timing. A lot of times, we want the good things in life to happen, but when as soon as the bad stuff happens, we start doubting God's presence. But don't doubt God, through it all, through the good and through the bad. Because most cases you'd find that when you're going through the bad, after you've went through it, that's when you start realizing with man, it was nothing.
True.
Trust God's timing. I've heard people tell me I'm a bit shaky on God's timing. I don't know if sometimes trust it.
And everything happens for a reason.
True.
And every reason is always good, even though something bad happens, but the reason for it is always good because there's a lesson and blessing in everything that you go through. Especially looking at your life and how you've described your journey so far up until the point you're at now. Even having the book and the book having so much meaning.
Looking at this one,
and looking at how you've titled each and every chapter, it really shows that each and every point and journey and phase in our lives, it has a meaning. And it's all interconnected, like our podcast right now. It's the truth waves. And it waved a different connection from what we had initially. And it was just a business transaction at first. But we didn't know it was going to come to this. But now it has grown to something bigger. And that's what I appreciate. And that's what I appreciate about, coming into connection with you. It weaved a different perspective of my journey. And it really, your life in a way, it has given me a different perspective, something different. Something else
same here. Because you're one of the only bros I can have these conversations with. But just know we're going to wrap up now. You see, we're on 34. We're going to wrap up real quick. But in closing, man, I would say just like trust God's timing and realize that there is a system that controls us. I've had a conversation with a bro and he was like, man, you shouldn't talk about stuff like this, you know? And it's like, someone needs to talk about it eventually. And especially now in our own country. Like, in this podcast, we're going to be talking about these type of topics. Also, like topics that are trending, but we're going to go in depth with it, just so that you'll realize that you're not alone in the spiritual journey. You don't have to be alone. I would say you don't have to date and stuff like that because your partner might not understand. I would say you can't find friends who will understand what you're going through or your thoughts, wondering how you wake up to this life every day, not knowing where the heck you come from. But there are people who can relate to that conversation, and it's us. And it's the Truth Wave podcast.
True, that's a fact. I mean, the only way is the truth. And nothing beats that. And I would like to appreciate you for, coming through with this whole idea and giving it a chance. And we're really looking forward to greater and bigger things than this.
Yes, sir.
And I would like also to thank you, the viewers at home, and our subscribers who are willing to subscribe. If this means something to you, if you've learned anything, and if you are growing with us in this journey, I would like to take a minute to thank you for that. Thank you for your time, thank you for your patience, and your willingness to learn. And we are not teachers, we are also students.
Very true.
But the greatest teachers are the greatest students as well. So
he's dropping bars.
So I would like to thank you guys, and in closing, I'd like to just say, be truthful to yourselves and know thyself. and understand where you come from. It's the only way you know where you're going. And this is the Truth Weaves podcast. Catch us on all our socials. We'll drop them on the link below.
Yeah.
And also get this guy's book, African Child, The Awakening. Get it. It's in stores. There's an ebook coming out. There's also links to YouTube to get the book on your
that
audios.
YouTube audio.
Yeah, please get the book. Support the guy, African Child. It's out there. Thanks.
Stay safe, stay dangerous, actually.
And stay blessed.
Yeah. Peace.